Today I'm reading an original letter written by Ralph Ellison. He's the author of Invisible Man. That follows a nameless African American man as he traverses mid 20th century society. And he's struggling to find his identity in a place where, well, he's just not labeled as anything because of racism and prejudice. Now, that book was released in 1952 and it won a National Book Award in 1953. Now, background on this letter. This is from Ralph Ellison to Mrs. Turner. In this letter, Ralph Ellison replies to a reader who complained about the way his landmark work, Invisible Man, had been misinterpreted and viewed as autobiography. Now, I want you to pay attention to the language because I truly believe he chose his words intentionally and very carefully. Now for the letter. This is dated March 31st, 1953. Dear Mrs. Turner, your letter came at a time when my book was under a very irritating attack in one of the local Negro newspapers, and it was reassuring to say the least. I must say, however, that when I told the Saturday Review interviewer that there was more to invisibility than I had been able to get into the book, I, by no means, meant to imply that I would return to that theme. Only that, like any valid metaphor for an aspect of the human condition, it was impossible for one man to exhaust it. As for myself, I doubt if I have really been invisible myself. Certainly not in the dramatic sense that I have conjured up in my book. I find, however, that many people assume that I am writing about myself, and, indeed, one or two reviewers treated the book explicitly as autobiography. For me, the writing of this particular book was an act of social responsibility as well as an attempt at an artistic projection. Did you catch that? Social responsibility. Ironically, however, although my natural pace is that of the walk, Invisible Man has had me running all over the place. Indeed, I was lecturing in North Carolina when your letter arrived, which reminds me that some of the Negro leaders in Greensboro, like the men in Baltimore, are so timid that they are not accepting as fast the new responsibilities of freedom as they might, which of course they rationalize as the sole fault of white people. Sound familiar? Fortunately, this is not true of all. Evidently, your friend feels, as many Negroes do, that the novel should be an elaborate way of putting the race's best foot forward, and if left to us, the agony of creation would be quite simple. One simply would portray Negro experience and Negro personality as the exact opposite of any stereotype set up by prejudiced whites. My work in attempting to define this particular aspect of personality only makes them afraid because it tries to reveal the extent to which each of us is responsible for his own fate. Sincerely, Ralph Ellison. This is a letter that you have to read more than one time and dissect it. And again, you need to listen to the language because I'm pretty sure, and this is just my opinion, but he chose his words very carefully. He was very intentional. So if you get a chance, read this letter yourself or just replay this video over and over and over, and you make your decision. Did he choose his words intentionally? Was he very careful? And know this, we do not have to reinterpret what was already clear. So if you value Black history told in original voices, join the community. Until tomorrow, have a good one.